What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for another daily news update where we are going to discuss the end of Allegri, apparently, because Romeo Gresti put something out and actually Nico Shira afterwards topped it off by confirming or not confirming, whatever you want to call it. So that's what we're going to talk about. The end of Allegri. Is it Motta? Apparently, it could be Motta. But there is an update, so that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Before we do that, like the video, hit the like button now. Let's get to at least 85 likes. Helps out the channel massively. Subscribe to the channel. We're getting close to 5K. Hit that bell notification, and let's jump into what Romeo and Nico had to say. Before we get into it, again, bad loss. We didn't lose, but bad result again. And like clockwork, Barzani speaks and Gaglione speaks. And none of them are making sense. Gaglione, absolutely not. Talking about Platini and Zidane and Baggio and Del Piero. And I'm like, man, we're not even beating Verona, Empoli, and Udinese. Are you telling me we need all-time legends of the game to beat these teams? Like, it's getting embarrassing at this moment in time. It's not even funny anymore. Like, actually, it's not funny. And on top of that, he takes shots at Giuntoli, which is also, again, not acceptable. Like, you cannot do that because people know how close you are to Allegri. And 1 plus 1 equals 2, even though some might say he doesn't speak for Allegri. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. And he's taking shots at Giuntoli, saying he needs to confirm him privately and all those things. You cannot do that. Like, you cannot demand these things when you're that close to actually the guy who's been employed by the person you're calling out. However, again, new lows. Like, we are reaching new lows. That being said, Romeo put out an article for the first time in a very long time. No, I don't think it's fan setting. I think people say, oh, it's an opinion. I think he just gave a news story that just needs to be confirmed, and the confirmation is at the end of the season. That's how he started the article. He said, it's a long road towards this. He said, for months I've been arguing that Juve has largely embraced a change at the end of the season. Out goes Allegri and in comes a coach with different characteristics, tasked with developing a new project, someone like Motta, if not Motta himself. And following that, Nico Shira talked on his YouTube channel, put out a video. You can go out and watch that as well. He said Juve has clear ideas. They're inclined towards a change and have chosen Motta, a 2-year contract with an option for a 3rd year. There have already been talks or meetings, and there's a draft agreement already in place saying that Motta is very open to take on the challenge, and that's that. Now, because people didn't believe Romeo, I don't think it was an opinion, like an opinion. If Romeo is an opinion, he doesn't write an entire article about that. He's basically said, and he said in the title, this is just a long road towards the end, and literally the end of the season and the end of Allegri at the club. That's what he was saying. And he mentioned Motta, and Nico Shira actually doubled down. He said, yeah, it's Motta. It is basically Motta. Now, again, not going into discussions, is Motta the right coach? Is he the... We will do that when we need to do that, because again, we're not at that point, and people are saying already crazy things where I'm like, people need to be realistic. We are not we are a top club in name. We're not a top club on the field. We know that because everybody was saying we don't expect Allegri to win the title this season, but in year 3 we need to see improvement. Nobody's saying we needed to win. Like, you need to compete. That was a demand. At least compete and improve whatever it was that needed to improve, and that basically is everything. So the next coach in needs to compete. If he doesn't win, we can accept that with that team, because that team needs work, but we need to see improvement. That's the main thing. Like, there needs to be a clear idea, an identity. Players need to improve, because now I'm looking at players, I'm like, I rate you, but I'm not sure, or I don't rate you, but even then, I'm not sure. Like, is it fair? Because it's all over the place. We have good performance, bad performances, good periods, bad periods. Like, I don't even know what to make of that. So that's being said, I don't like what is happening now, personally, because I never disrespected Allegri. He's a legend of the club, but I don't know if the next coach, if it's Motta, Conte, or whatever, is gonna work or it's gonna flop. We don't know that. We didn't know when we gave Conte a shot from Serie B. Nobody was expecting that, but we gave him a shot. Like, we gave him a shot and he took it, and wow, it worked out brilliantly. It set up something incredible. 9 wins, 9 titles in a row. We're never gonna see that again. As a Juve fan. However, we gave him a shot, so you cannot dismiss that. Like, if you don't take a shot, you cannot hit. But it needs to be like, there needs to be a clear plan, a clear identity, and all going into the same direction. That being said, so I don't know if Motta is the right guy. I don't know if Conte is the right guy for this situation. I do know 100% certain, me personally, is that the last 3 years are not the answer. Regardless of the lack of quality in the team, we struggle against poor sides for 3 years now. To break them down, to dominate them, whatever, to put something together that you can see week in, week out, okay, at least that's something we can build on. We don't have that. So after 3 years, we can say factually, there's no improvement, and this is not the right way. That we know for a fact. What happens in the future, we don't know. I agree with a lot of people with that, but I'm not going to tear a person down before he got a job. Now, I didn't want Pirlo. I didn't want Sarri. I didn't like the option, but I gave them a shot. Sarri won, Pirlo won. Coppa, Supercoppa, scraped top 4, all those things. But I'll give anyone a shot, because I don't think it's fair to say, whatever. You can say I don't like the option. I don't like okay, whatever. But you need to give him a shot. That being said, I think it's very clear that it's different than last season. The comments in the media, from his agent, taking shots at Giuntoli, and Allegri being extremely nervous and all those things, and also this collapse. Like, it's like you cannot back this anymore as a board. Like, you need to make a change. Now, the big risk at this moment in time is missing out on Champions League, because it's a realistic option. We have 9 games and we play Lazio in the league. I'm talking about the league. Lazio, Torino, Milan, Roma, and Bologna. We play those 5 teams still in the league. And I'm probably missing somebody else, because we play Cagliari, Salernitana, Monza, and I'm blanking out another team, I think. Fiorentina. And we play Fiorentina. So we play Roma, Lazio. We play Lazio, Fiorentina, Roma, Milan, Bologna. Like, we play all the teams we're fighting with. Maybe not Lazio, but it's not an easy game, We're fighting with Roma, maybe not Fiorentina, but not an easy game. We're fighting with Bologna, Roma, Milan. We're fighting with those teams, and we're playing those teams, and we cannot beat the worst sides in the league at this moment in time. So top 4 is at massive risk, and if we miss out on Champions League money, we are screwed. As a club, we are in a load of trouble. We really are. And that is the main focus now, because the club is not going to sack Allegri. I know people are going to say it. There are no options. Bring in Montero, shock effect, Tecnardi spoke about that. The players are gone. Like 13 players, half of the team, over half of the team is gone in international duty. And the players here, they're not even starters. So even if you bring in Montero as a caretaker or whatever to create a shock effect, the players are not there. Tudor comes in at Lazio. He has a lot of players to work. So that Lazio game is going to be, oh my God. Like, it's going to be horrible, because I think we're going to lose, and it's going to be a bad loss as well. Like, it's not going to be like an iffy loss. It's going to be like a clear loss. We are in massive trouble. Somehow, some way, the players need to set up, like I said, set away all the difference and just fight for scraping top 4 at this moment in time. It's 9 points, but that means nothing. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, remember when I said at the end of March, those 9 points can be 5 very easy. And I think I've been generous, because it can be worse. Like, at the end of the month, it can be 3 points that we are ahead of Champions League. It really, really can. Like losing against Lazio and then winning is already 6 points. And then you have Fiorentina or Torino and Fiorentina. Maybe Salernitana or Cagliari, but then you have Milan. Like, it's tough, and the other teams are having an easier schedule. So at the end of the day, we can talk about Allegri is gone, Motta is here, and it is a big update. It's not going to happen now. We still need to make Champions League, and somehow Allegri needs to find a way. I have no idea how. I'm not going to lie. I have no idea how he's going to manage to do that, but he's going to need to convince these players to turn it around, Go back to grind mode and grind out results and actually die for the quote unquote top four costs or top five costs, whatever you want to call it, which is basically the same point wise at this moment in time. There's not a big gap as well between 4 and 5. I think it's like 1 point or 2 points if Atalanta win their game in hand against Fiorentina. So it's a big task and it's a serious situation at this moment in time. It really is a serious situation. I know the players are not happy. I know Allegri is not happy with the players, but somehow they need to find a way because nothing is going to change from now until the end of the season. These players are going to need to figure it out. And you might say the club is responsible if you miss out on top four. I 100% agree. I 100% agree because they are absent, they're not speaking, and everything what's going around in and off the pitch, on and off the pitch, is not helping, and the club is not really speaking on it. But we are in big trouble. We are in massive trouble at this moment in time. This is very, very, very serious. But let's see. We have a 2-week break, and then we go again against Lazio. But as of now, that's the update. Thiago Motta, if we move on from Allegri, which is very likely now at the end of the season, it looks like Thiago Motta at this moment in time is the main candidate. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. Like the video. Let's push to 85. Subscribe. We're getting closer to 5K. Hit that bell notification. And I will see you guys tomorrow for a live show.